Last year, we learned that disgraced former Lost Prophets frontman Ian Watkins was repeatedly stabbed and beaten in a prison attack that left him in life-threatening condition. The attack came as a surprise for few, as Watkins is a convicted pedophile, one who pled guilty to the very disturbing charges against him, to say the least. And now in a new report, we're learning more about that prison attack and what the miserable daily life is like behind bars today for Watkins. In 2013, former Lost Prophets frontman Ian Watkins was sentenced to 35 years in prison for one of the most disturbing pedophilia cases in recent memory. News broke last year that Watkins was repeatedly stabbed in prison and left in life-threatening condition. It was said that he was held hostage by his attackers, according to a report from The Mirror, which read, "He was found by officers after being held hostage and battered on Saturday morning. He's in life-threatening condition, and there are fears he could die. If he survives, he'll have been very lucky." And Watkins was very lucky, making a recovery from his attack. But today, life behind bars for Watkins is anything but easy. And Watkins did ultimately survive. And a new report paints a picture of what daily life behind bars is like for Watkins. And the report indicates he's both paying for protection and paying for friends. According to the new report, the attack on Watkins was said to be due to a drug debt he owed behind bars. In a new book written about the prison, which is referred to as Monster Mansion, a prisoner revealed to the authors, he's hated by many, though high-level gangsters, drug importers, and organized crime, they just take money off him for his safety. They noted, "He has spent thousands on protection. The recent stabbing was a reminder that he needs to pay. He took an amount of spice off a prisoner without prison value of 150 euros. Because it was Watkins, he was told he owed 900. He was high and refused to pay. Therefore, he was stabbed in the side using a sharpened toilet brush." The report indicates that Watkins also dyes his hair black inside of the prison with hair dye he bought from the prison service. They claim that Watkins was also found to have a cell phone behind bars. The source said he had paid a Liverpool gang member $1,000 to use the phone, and when he got caught with it, he had to pay $5,000. This is fact. I know the guy who lent him the phone. Watkins is on C-Wing. They added, his work activity is education. He buys his protection, and his recent stabbing was due to a drugs debt. He's considered vile amongst the other offenders. And one of the most disturbing details of this report was that the disgraced former musician still has many female fans and receives letters from a lot of females. The report says that Watkins could be up for parole in 2031, though you could imagine there would be significant backlash if Watkins was paroled. Watkins can surely expect a lot of opposition to any efforts to get out of jail early. Really sickening stuff, and it's hard to imagine that anyone would want to send him a letter in prison. Really just disgusting.
Ian Watkins. Ian Watkins is fucking dead. Oh boy, I need a drink for this one. Those of you who don't know who Ian Watkins is, he is the ex-lead singer of the band Lost Prophets. And if you don't know who Lost Prophets are, you've been under a damn rock for the past 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Let's dive into this. I just found out about, woke up to this. Apparently was killed sometime this morning. We're the 11th of October. And this is the Sun UK edition. We also got Toronto Sun. I wonder if they're fucking, they might be like, hide this shit. Also hide this damn video. Pedo rocker killed Lost Prophets pedo Ian Watkins stabbed to death by con in frenzied jail attack after inmates unlocked from cells. The prison was plunged into lockdown after what appeared to be a pre-planned attack. Now, I was actually hoping to get this video done without having to do any damn processing, but I don't think this part is going to play. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do what I usually do and just stick it in here in post-production. And so here we go. Fuck your stupid video. It's probably in 1080p, and that's why I won't play on my shitty machine. But here you go, video. Well, it's only a minute and 12 seconds.
Pedo rock star Ian Watkins has been murdered in jail after being stabbed in the neck in a frenzied attack by another con. The ex-Lostprophets frontman was ambushed and knifed after inmates were unlocked from their cells this morning. Police and medics raced to HMP Wakefield, and the shamed singer was airlifted to hospital. But Watkins, 48, who was serving 35 years for a string of child sex offences, including the attempted rape of a baby, was hit in the jugular and could not be saved. A source said Watkins was killed in the most brutal way possible, and the attack was shocking. They added that the attacker went for his jugular in a pre-planned attack. We told in August 2023 how Watkins, who was caged in December 2013 after a court case that horrified Britain, was raced to hospital after being stabbed at Wakefield. On that occasion, he was grabbed by 3 other lags who attacked him and left him with neck injuries. A siege at the jail only ended when a tornado team of riot officers hurled stun grenades into the cell to free Watkins. The vile rocker, who was jailed for 35 years for 13 horrific sex offences against children, had life-saving treatment at Leeds General Infirmary. That stabbing was sparked by a row over guitar lessons and anger over jail visits from a younger girlfriend of Watkins. His 3 attackers were arrested.
Okay, well, let's read through this article, shall we? Pedo rock star Ian Watkins has been murdered in jail in a brutal knife attack by another con. The Ex-Lostprophets frontman was ambushed and had his throat slashed after inmates were unlocked from their cells this morning. Literally this morning, like, we're the 11th, that he died this morning, like, which is fucking... Wait a minute, is this still going? No, it's not good. Yes, it is. Fuck off, fucking... You know, I hate that. These things are... Okay, stop, you cunt. Alright, there's the fucking guy, like, oh, look at his eyes, man. Come on. His eyes look like, I don't know, do they look remorseful? And look at this guy's eyes, right? Same guy, right? Look at his eyes. Oh, you could tell a lot by the eyes. He's a guy. I'll tell you what. Here's the guy again. Now he's on stage with Lost Prophets. What's going on down here? Pants falling down. What the fuck is that? What kind of tattoo? Okay, he deserved to be killed just for those tattoos. Fuck, that's all I'm saying. Police and medics raced to Wakefield Prison, West Yorkshire, dubbed Monster Mansion, but the stricken former singer could not be saved. Watkins, 48, who was serving 35 years for a string of child sex offenses, including the attempted rape of a baby, is the most high-profile inmate to be killed in a UK jail in living memory. His attacker, who justice sources said had been identified, is understood to have slashed his jugular, causing Watkins to die from blood loss. As a source said, Watkins has been killed in the most brutal way possible. I beg to differ on that one. You guys know nothing about fucking United States prisons, I guess. And the attack was shocking, even by prison standards. Again, I beg to differ. Why is this still playing? Fuck off. Jesus wept. And the source said Watkins has been killed. I don't... Okay, that's not... Well, I haven't seen the death footage. I've been looking for it since I started this, but I have not been able to find it. He was targeted by another inmate who shanked him in the neck. Guards were nearby and raced to the scene pretty quickly, but there was nothing they could do, and they could not save him. They went on to say it was a horrific scene with blood everywhere and alarms and sirens going off. Police and ambulances were called, and the whole prison was locked down, with all cons confined to their cells. He has been attacked a few times. Another guy that died, and the bloke who got him this time went for his jugular. And it looks like a pre-planned attack. Watkins was obviously high profile and for the most disgusting crimes, so that meant he was walking around with a target on his back, and this has happened. Despite who he was, it was really shocking and gruesome. What the fuck do you mean, despite who he was, it was... Yeah, right. Well, he made his bed lie down in the grave, boy, you know what I'm saying? Experienced officers and a lot of the other prisoners were in absolute shock after what happened, and a lot of them saw the awful scene. The inmate who attacked him used a shank knife, and he was apprehended pretty quickly. There was not much doubt about who had done it. Stabbed in guitar lessons Now, wait a minute now. The guy was giving fucking guitar lessons. We told how in August 2023, while serving his sentence, the pedophile rocker was taken to hospital after being stabbed in another prison attack. On that occasion, he was grabbed by 3 other lags. What the fuck is a lag? Who attacked him and left him with neck injuries. A siege at the jail only ended when a tornado team of riot officers hurled stun grenades into the cell to free Watkins. The vile rocker, who was jailed for 13 horrific sex offenses against children, had life-saving treatment at Leeds General Infirmary. That stabbing was sparked by a row, a row, a row over guitar lessons and anger over jail visits from a younger girlfriend of Watkins. What girlfriend's gonna sit? I don't understand that one. And there's the guy performing in London a few months before his arrest in 2012. Yeah, fucking guilty. Look at his eyes. You can tell a lot about someone from looking in the glass eyes. You know what I mean? Fuck. Sick fiend was jailed in 2013. Violence is rife in UK prisons, although murders are rare. In two recent cases, convicted murderer John Mansfield was killed in high-security HMP Whitmore, Cams in April, and Dennis Green, 42, died after being attacked Fossey Prison Laces in August. Inspectors found levels of violence at Wakefield had increased by 62% since 2022, you think, in a report published last month. It found many inmates were scared to leave their cells and felt unsafe after a growing cohort of younger prisoners. Category A Wakefield, which holds 630 lags, what the fuck is a lag, has been dubbed Monster Mansion due to the number of high-profile killers, terrorists, and sex offenders it holds. Inmates, including Roy Wooding, who killed Sarah Payne, Jeremy Bamber, and pedophile killer Mark Bridger. It also holds cop-killing Al-Qaeda terrorist Kamel Borgas, serial rapist Reinhard Sinaka, and child killer Mick Philpott. We told in March how Philpott, 69, who killed 6 of his 17 children in an arson house blaze. What the fuck? Why? Was left battered and bruised in a beating at Wakefield. And the next prisoner at the jail faces court for an alleged attack on Wakefield on killer pedophile Sidney Cook, 98. 98, the oldest inmate in a UK jail, 98. Killer pedophile, 98. How does that work? I don't. Anyways, 3 groupies who regularly visited Fiend. The Sun on Sunday told in 2017 how depraved Watkins had 3 groupies who were allowed to visit him in jail. The trio of goth girls. Goth. I've not heard this motherfucker's music. We're going to take a listen to it. The trio of goth girls, don't think it's goth, made regular trips to see the beast, and he was spotted holding hands with one and kissing her. Watkins found fame in 2000 with Ex-Lostprophets, with the Welsh band, going on to sell more than 3.4 million albums worldwide. The alt-rock and new metal group, now they're alt-rock and new metal, but spearheaded by goth chicks, I don't care. How does that work? The alt-rock and new metal group were founded by Watkins and guitarist Lee Gaze in Pontypridd, Wales in 1997. They had 4 top UK albums and charted with singles, including Last Train Home, Rooftops, and Burn Burn. Burn Burn? Oh man, I should have burned him. Vile Pedo. Watkins was the poster boy of the band, which attracted a huge cult following, but the rock world was stunned by his arrest and trial, which saw him described in court as a determined and committed pedophile. Watkins preyed on fans, including 2 who offered up their babies to be abused by their idol. What? Fuck. In March, bandmate Gaze, 50, broke his silence on the Watkins case, saying online, "It's been 13 years since my band ended in the most unimaginable circumstances, and it's still painful to think about." Okay, Life and Crimes of Ian Watkins by Michael Hamilton. Ian Watkins was the super confident and charismatic frontman of alt-rock band Ex-Lostprophets as it rose to fame in the early 2000s. He had formed the group with guitarist Lee Gaze in Pontypridd, Wales, 1997, and went on to build up a huge following in the UK's underground music scene. A debut album, The Fake Sound of Progress, released in 2000, brought them commercial success. Second album, Start Something, which came out 4 years later, spawned hits including Last Train Home and Burn Burn. Should have burned him. Further success followed with 2006 Liberation Transmission and The Betrayed, released in 2010. Ex-Lostprophets sold out venues including the Cardiff International Arena, and Watkins, their energetic lead singer, had a legion of adoring fans, but rumors began to swirl of his erratic behavior, drug use, and a sinister dark side. Since the rock world was stunned by his 2012 arrest and subsequent conviction, which led detectives to label Twisted Watkins the most dangerous sex offender they had ever encountered. Watkins, who briefly dated TV and radio star Fern Cotton, The fuck you gonna name your kid? I don't. Anyways, to 2005, denied charges against him, but changed his plea to guilty at the start of his 2013 trial. He confessed to 13 vile offenses, including trying to rape a fan's 11-month-old son and conspiring to rape another's daughter. Watkins also admitting to possessing indecent photos of children found on computers at his home in Pontypridd, South Wales. Of 90 abuse images, 24 were level 5, the most serious category. Officers had to turn to experts at Government Intelligence Network CGHQ to crack encryption codes. Meanwhile, Cardiff Crown Court heard how he joked with his female fan 24 hours after his confession, calling his offenses mega lols, slang for laughing out loud. In a recorded call from jail, he said, "I'm going to put a statement out just to say it was mega lols. I don't know what everybody's getting so freaked out about." You gotta be fucking kidding me. He really said that. That's another thing I gotta find. I gotta find that recorded call, man. You gotta hear that shit. I think there's gonna have to be a part 2 of this. The friend claimed at court. Okay. Let's do that again. The friend claimed at court that he could not remember the sickening attacks because he was a heavy user of crystal meth. The fiend claimed. Gotta fuck that up. What an editing job this is gonna be. The fiend claimed at court that he could not remember the sickening attacks because he was a heavy user of crystal meth at the time. But his own KC, Sally O'Neill, admitted there is little that can be said in way of mitigation. And handing out one of the longest tariffs ever to a convicted pedophile, Mr. Justice Royce said, "These courts see a large number of horrific cases. This case, however, breaks new ground. You have many fawning fans that gave you power. You knew you could use that power to induce young female fans to help satisfy your insatiable lust and take part in the sexual abuse of their children. Away from the highlights of your performance lay a dark and sinister side. Detective Chief Inspector Peter Doyle said he has shown no empathy or remorse. That potentially makes him the most dangerous sex offender I've ever seen. 2 co-defendants, fans who were the mothers of victims, were caged for 14 and 17 years each. In 2014, oh, that's justice, baby. I love that shit. I love that shit. You actually offered up your kids to the... I don't even want to get into that one. Where am I finding the fucking... This is definitely going to be a 2-parter. In 2014, Watkins was refused the right to appeal against his 35-year sentence. So until his death yesterday, he languished in bleak Wakefield Prison, West Yorkshire, one of the Britain's toughest jails, where many will believe an act of brutal natural justice was meted out. Let's get back to the actual article. Things could have been so different. I don't talk about it much, but I put everything into that band, and it should have lasted a lifetime. I never really wronged anyone my whole life, so it seemed like the ultimate punishment. And that, of course, is bandmate Gaze 50 talking. And, I can't imagine what that must have been like. Watkins was charged in 2012 and sentenced the following year. The vile ex-rocker and ex-TV and radio star Fern Cotton, an ex of TV radio star Fern Cotton, was jailed in 2013 after a shocking trial for offenses, including the attempted rape of a baby. He changed his plea to guilty at the beginning of the trial and admitted to trying to rape a fan's baby and plotting to rape another infant. Watkins has been killed in the most brutal possible way. Watkins filmed himself committing sex acts on a baby boy the day after Lostprophets' final album, Weapons, was released. The fiend claimed at Cardiff Crown Court he could not remember the sickening attacks because he was a heavy user of crystal meth at the time. His 2 co-defendants, fans who were the mothers of his victims, received sentences of 14, 17 years in prison. Right, oh, baby, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. In 2014, he was refused the right to appeal against his 35-year sentence. Lord Justice Christopher Pitchford said his offenses were of such shocking depravity that the long sentence was called for. Said the original trial judge had correctly gauged the seriousness of his offending and that the term was not manifestly unjust. In 2019, Watkins was convicted of having a banned mobile phone in prison and had another 10 months added to his sentence. He used the device to communicate with scores of warped female fans from his cell. The phone was found concealed on him after an ex-girlfriend tipped off jail bosses. Ooh, he's sneering like Billy Idol. Look at that motherfucker. Anyways, ugh. I, barf. Matter of time, Ian Watkins was sitting duck in jail and had to be saved years before his death. Saved and saved. So, anyways, I was trying to find the death footage. And the first place, of course, I went to was the ync.com. Don't go there. Don't click. You have been warned. And no, of course, I I couldn't find it. So I went on to I don't know if they I don't think well if any place is going to find it have it eventually, it's going to be the YNC, but I guess they're not really informed about it yet or something. But sooner or later during the day, it'll be there. Maybe it'll be there during. Maybe I'll find it during post production. But I went and looked on Yandex.ru because if you can't find it on Google, it'll usually show up on the Yandex.ru, and I did find it. However, here, and that was on YouTube, US Tonight channel. Singer Ian Watkins' last CCTV video in jail before he died. He knew it. No K. All right. And you can see that nothing's happening here. Maybe if I refresh the fucking page. This is normal, every time I try to do this, it tends to lag and stuff, and doesn't work properly. But you'll see in a second here. Dedicated to Ian Watkins. What the fuck is this shit? Seriously? If that's a tribute, I'm gonna puke all over this keyboard, man. I really will. I swear to God, I will. While we're waiting for this to load, it sure is taking a while, isn't it? As you can see here, video is no longer available because the YouTube account associated with this video has been terminated. So, last CCT video in jail died, he knew it. It must have been uncensored, and it had 43.9K. Okay? 43.9K views before they took it down. And as far as I know, this is the only place that has it, that had it. You know what I'm saying? So I went over on X to see if I could find it. And I'll tell you what, I didn't find a video. Eventually it's going to come out. Obviously it already did come out. But I think at this point that they're probably doing their best to contain it. But you know how it works, right? I mean, they can only contain these things for so long. And, it's only a matter of time before the shit comes out and I'll get a hold of it. I promise you that. You know me, man. I find shit. That's all I do. And as you can see here, Ian Watkins dead is the prompt. And there's a hell of a lot of people sort of celebrating it. Ian Watkins dead. Have a good weekend, ladies and gents. Drink a pint. Me liking every single Ian Watkins dead post. Is this real? There's no way this guy is driving around on a bike with. No, that's fucking impossible. Ian Watkins dead. I'll drink to that. Whoever did it, get that man a deluxe cell with Sky Sports on an 86-inch TV. All right. Me liking every tweet about Ian Watkins being dead. Ian Watkins dead. Oh shit. Ian Watkins is dead. Had his throat slashed in prison. A big stain on the world of metal, and indeed the world at large was erased today. That's worth a pint. Yeah, it's worth a couple pints. Anyways, Um, everybody's every single person here is like celebrating. You know, I'm not one to celebrate anyone's death, but if anybody deserved it, it's that fucking guy. Ian Watkins dead as fuck. I keep hoping I'll bump into the damn footage, but I think it's probably going to be a while before I get my hands on it. But as soon as I do, knife goes in, guts come out. Yeah, all right. They didn't stab me in the gut, buddy. Anyways, hopefully I can find the death footage. If I do, I'll continue this report. I'll bring you breaking news as I come across it. But that's what you get. That's what you get, boy. You don't hurt women and you don't hurt kids. That's just how it works. And that's all. Anyways, I'll keep you guys posted. Stay tuned to all channels for updates. Peace out. Plymouth Fury out.
It says Ian Watkins of Lost Prophets. If it just says Lost Prophets, it doesn't, it's not referring to him. It doesn't have to refer to him directly. They were just about to sign a massive deal again, right? Like they were meant to have money back.
Were fucking up there, weren't they? Like,
he got arrested. They were meant to sign a deal that got them publishing for a big album. I think that was going to be, enough to set them up for the next couple of years or whatever. Taken away. It's just gone, and it's gone from all five. It's gone from the five of them, not just him. It's gone from that band and their family. I know Lee apparently smashed his gold and platinum discs up and stuff because what can you do with them? You can't have them anymore. You can't put them up in your house because people will always question them. And then they've all got young families as well. If you had a gold disc up in your house and you've never mentioned to your kid what it was for, and then all of a sudden they're asking, oh, what's that for, Dad? Oh, it's in a band. And then, it's fucking awful what happened to them.